Okay, so this is our first type of function, and we're going to color this one. Let's do pink for this one, if I have a pink. The closest I have to pink is this reddish color, so this is pink or red. So color your dot in so that we could talk about it later. Okay, the first step in this kind of problem is to get the radical by itself on one side. So remember, our problem is 3 square root of x plus 3 minus 2 equals 22. So I have to add 2 to both sides first. So I have 3 square root of x plus 3 equals 24. And I'm going to divide by 3. Okay, so I end up with the square root of x plus 3 equals 8. Now I need to raise each side of the equation the same exponent to eliminate the radical. So if it's a square root, I take it to the second power. If it's a cube root, I take it to the third power. So this time, I have just a plain old square root, so I'm going to take it to the second power. So I have x plus 3, because the square root and the square undo each other, and 8 to the second, which is 64. Okay. My next step says solve the resulting equation. If you're left with a quadratic, you may need to use the quadratic formula. So this one is not a quadratic because it doesn't have an x squared in it. So I just need to get x by itself. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to subtract 3 on both sides. So I have x equals 61 this time. Okay, and that is solved. My last step is I have to check to see if it's extraneous. So if it's extraneous, my two sides are not going to equal. So let's plug in 63 into the original equation. So my original equation was 3 square root of x plus 3 minus 2 equals 22. And this time, instead of x, I'm going to put in the 61 that I got. So just like before, we start by simplifying everything under the radical. So I have 3 square root of 64 minus 2. Okay, I'm going to take the square root of 64 and I'm just going to type that in my calculator and end up with 8. And then I could type this whole thing in my calculator. 3 times 8 minus 2. Well, 3 times 8 is 24. 24 minus 2 is 22. Then I bring down the other part. Is 22 equal to 22? It is. So x equals 61 is a solution. Okay. And you're going to want to take a second and fill out the flow chart on the front. So in this problem, there was, let's see, there was one radical. Okay, so we're on the one radical. And then it says constants, so numbers only on what the other side are variables. So let's go back and look. So on the other side, it was just a number. So that means this one is the red problem or the pink problem that you want to refer to. Okay, so make sure you color this in pink or red, whatever color you call that.